Hi and welcome back to Japan Soul Traveler. We are in August and in Japan it's time to celebrate the Obon almost, around 15th, 14th August. So I would like to introduce here a brief, I promise, discussion or a brief chit-chat about ancestor worship and why it's so important in Japan and how it is connected to Obon celebration. Obon is the celebration for the dead. So it's that time of the year where the ancestor come back to the family and the family offer them some welcome food, some welcome rites, and it's a moment in which the family of the living encounter again their dead. It is a very important tradition in Japan since its introduction with Buddhism, and it is very connected to the notion of family in Japan and the ancestor worship. When we say ancestor worship, we tend to indicate all that rituals that are meant to celebrate one family ancestor, for example, grandfather or grandfather, the whole family ancestors conceived as a huge anonymous entity where all the deceased of a family reunite. The first question while talking about ancestor is: who is the ancestor? Who is destined to become ancestors after the death? To answer this question, it's very important to keep in mind a particular trait of the Japanese family system, the ie, also called dozoku, it depends. It is a system in which there is one main family called honke, connected to which you find several secondary families called bunke. So you will have a head of the family in the bunke, which controls their own branches, and one superior head of the family in the honka family, which controls the honka family and all the other smaller branch. When a head of the family has an heir, usually he's a male, the son needs to get married and have children to continue the honka family, while all the younger brothers are supposed to start a new family that will become bunke family. So it's a little complex, but it's important to understand that the main figure is the head of the family and the heir, the first son of the family. They are the two main figures that will become ancestor in the afterlife. When a head of the family dies, he will become an ancestor. If a first son will die, he will become a huembotoke, which means is dead with ties, with connections, and he will be honored as an ancestor. If a younger family member, if a younger brother happens to die without a family, without a wife, without a child, he will consider a muembotoke. This means he will not be allowed to enter the ancestor family and he will become an angry ghost. So the ancestor worship is really a mirror of what happens in the social family. As in, if you follow the rules, so if you follow the traditional path, so you get married, you have children, and you start your own family, then okay, perfect, you are destined to become an ancestor, and your descendant will prepare a lot of amazing cults and amazing commemoration and amazing memorial rituals for you. If it happens that you won't or can't begin a family, you will end up being single and childless, well, chances are you are on the right path to become a restless spirit. Why it's so important to achieve these steps in life? So, for once, it's because it's a means to assure that the family will last forever. This is a notion that entered Japanese society in the 19th century, when the ie became regulated by law. So since then, this notion of a particular family structure became spread all over the country. The ancestor worship is a means to assure that the same system is perpetuated across the generations. So say you are a second child and you are a man, well, according to the system, if you don't want to become Muembotoke, you have to first of all make sure that all your ancestors are worshipped, and then you have to make sure you yourself assure this continuity by giving birth to a child, and so get married, and so have possibly grandchildren, and so on. The path to become ancestor is not easy one. It's a long process. It's a very long process. It begins with death, but it lasts up until 33 years, so it's really a long process in which the dead person stops being alive, stop being a part of the society of the living, and gradually enter the society of the dead. So there is a very dangerous first time in which the soul of the dead is still very fragile and it's not alive nor dead, so it's in between two worlds. And this is a very dangerous moment because it's a fragile situation in which the soul of the dead could be harmful for the living. The memorial rituals and the senzo okuyo, which are the ancestor worship cult, aims exactly to assure that the process is as peaceful as it can get. So, say your grandfather dies, well, there is a funeral, which is generally speaking a Buddhist funeral. After that, there is a series of ritual that ensured the deceased enter properly the society of the ancestors. So, for example, the dead is given a new name, kaimyo, which is a Buddhist posthumous name, which allows him to, become a disciple of the Buddha, and that should help to improve its position in the afterlife, so speed up the process. Then this name is written on a tablet, which is ihai, which is then put on the altar of the house, and rituals are then performed in front of this tablet. After 100 days, and then with the first Obon, the dead finally becomes less dangerous, less ambiguous, and in a way is more and more stable in the new situation, so in the new world of the dead. These first 100 days are, ritually speaking, the most intense because on the 7th, on the 49th, sometimes on the 33rd, on the 33rd, and then on the 100th day, there is a specific ritual to commemorate death and to help him getting comfortable in the new world. After that, given the fact that he is less and less dangerous for the living, the memorial rites tends to dilute in time and to become fewer. There is the first anniversary of death, then the 3rd, the 7th, and again I think to remember the 17th, and then 23rd, and then finally the 33rd year after that. These steps in a way mark the growth of the deceased in the other world, so in the world of the dead, and the deceased gradually lose their individuality and are absorbed in the huge spiritual entity that it's the ancestor society. Clearly today you may have differences in the way these ritual are performed. And maybe the younger generation don't feel the urge to attend all the steps in the same way. Still, the ancestor worship is a huge deal in Japan, and maybe if you visit Japan in August, sometimes also in July in some parts of Japan, but if you visit it in August, you will have some specific moments of celebration and some specific celebrations spread around all country because it's Obon. So Obon clearly is one of the most important celebrations for the ancestor, together with the Shogatsu, which is New Year. Understanding how this work is a part of understanding how Japanese society in a way works and why this Obon celebration is so important and such a big deal. Yes, this was a very long and maybe technical video. I hope I didn't mess up too much and I didn't give too many information. So in case you have any question, you can contact me or you can write in the comment section whatever you feel you don't get or whatever was too much confusion. I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.